Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of the Screen Guild Players, as it was originally broadcast January 4th, 1943. Joan Fontaine in her original 1941 Academy Award-winning role in Suspicion. And along with her, and if I don't mention this, Easy Cleghorn's going to make my day difficult. You hear in this Nigel Bruce performing in it, and he was scheduled to. However, Basil Rathbone stepping in at the last minute, and you'll hear the explanation of that. One of the few times that Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce appeared on radio, not with Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. So let's listen to Suspicion from January 4th, 1943.
Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Screen Guild play tonight,
Suspicion.
the starring players.
This is Joan Fontaine.
This is Basil Rathbone.
And this is Nigel Bruce.
Tonight, Lady Esther welcomes you to one of the finest dramatic programs ever presented on the stage of this theater, Suspicion, starring Joan Fontaine in the role that won her the Academy Award, Lena Aysgarth, and Nigel Bruce as Vicky Thwaite. Brian Ahern, originally scheduled to portray the role of Lena's husband, John Aysgarth, was taken ill last night, and Basil Rathbone took over the role on a moment's notice.
I am Lena Aysgarth. I have been married to John Aysgarth for the happiest months of my life. But those months are past. I have been living in terror for weeks. My days endless filled with suspicion. My nights interminable eons of torment. I am certain my husband has decided to murder me. I can't prove it, of course, but I'm sure he's going to kill me. Just as I know he killed his best friend, Vicky Thwaite. But I can't prove that either. I suppose I've always been afraid of Johnny. Some way, perhaps intuitively. I've known he was going to destroy me, just as he destroyed his own good name. But I love him. Even now, waiting for him to kill me, I love him. I think that when Johnny does kill me, I'll die happy. It'll be a relief. I can't stand this waiting. Johnny had a reputation for wildness before our runaway marriage. One of those generally bad reputations to which no one could supply any specific details. And I wouldn't believe generalities. I was supremely happy during our honeymoon, troubled only by the tremendous expense of our trip. But whenever I mentioned money, Johnny refused to answer. When we reached our new home, a mansion far beyond my most extravagant dreams, I learned why Johnny had avoided the subject of finances. Johnny received a telegram. Is it bad news, Johnny?
No, dear, no. It's it's from an old friend of mine. Stupid fellow. He wants £1,000. You couldn't spare 1,000, could you?
1,000? What does he want it for?
Oh, hanged if I know. Probably because I borrowed it from him.
You borrowed it? Why?
Because I was going on a honeymoon with the loveliest girl in the world, and I wanted to make her happy.
Well, didn't you have any money of your own?
No, not a shilling.
Well, I still don't understand. Are you broke?
Broke, darling? I've been broke all my life.
Why didn't you tell me? Every time I brought the subject up, you... Well, whatever made you take this extravagant house?
Well, I didn't think you'd want to live in a shack. A girl like you who's going to come into plenty of money one day.
Wait a minute. I can't quite get this into my head. Were you thinking of my inheritance when you... Oh, I don't know what to say.
Oh, now, darling, really? Isn't it silly to spend the best years of our life waiting? Why not be comfortable now?
Johnny, I'm just beginning to understand you. You're a baby. Oh, I know you didn't marry me for my money. You could have done much better elsewhere, but my income will never pay for all this.
Well, what about your father?
You wouldn't actually want to live on your wife's allowance, would you? Answer me, Johnny. That was my introduction to Johnny's complete irresponsibility. He believed only in luck and lived his life on borrowed money and the hope that one of the horses on which he bet that borrowed money would win at long odds. I finally prevailed on him to take a job that had been offered, managing the estates of his cousin, Captain Melbeck, and he promised to stop betting. I was very happy for a few days, and then a couple of weeks after Johnny had started his job, a man came to our house.
Oh, hello. I'm Beaky Thwaite. You must be old Johnny's wife.
Yes, I am.
Didn't he ever tell you about me?
Beaky, oh, you're Beaky.
That's what they used to call me at school. I happened to be driving by. I thought I'd just pop in for a cup of tea.
Oh, I've heard so much about you, Mr. Thwaite.
Well, Johnny told me about you, too. I ran into him last week at the Newbury races.
The races?
Oh, put my foot in it again, have I, as usual, huh? Didn't he tell you?
Johnny has a job. He couldn't have been at the races. Besides, he's given up betting.
Oh, he has he? Well, don't you believe it, not Johnny. Old Johnny dropped a packet of money at Newbury, I can tell you that.
But where did he get the money to bet?
I don't know, old girl. But if I were missing anything, I'd ask old Johnny.
I shall, as soon as he comes home.
Well, he won't have long to wait, because here he comes now, and loaded down like St. Nick himself. Hello, old bean. Why, it's...
Don't move, either of you. Just stay like that. I must watch the expression of your faces. Ethel!
Yes, sir?
What have you in the house to drink?
Gin, brandy, champagne, and Pimm's number 1, sir.
Nothing else?
Shut up, Beaky, shut up. Yeah, bring them all, Ethel. We're going to move on. Well, my friends, I have the pleasure of announcing that the Goodwood Cup was run today, and I happen to have backed the winner, a 10-to-1 shot, and I had £200 on him.
10-to-1, 200 quid? Why, that's 2,000 quid, old bean.
That's right, Beaky. And these packages are the loot. Lena, what's happened to your tongue? I suppose you disapprove of my betting.
Not with those jewels in her lap, she doesn't.
Oh, come on, darling. Smile. I know I've been naughty, but look, it's all for you.
I said, look. Ethel's brought in the drinks. Now, what about celebrating?
Trust Beaky to say the right thing at the right time.
Come on, Obin. I could do with a pull at the beaker. Well, here's one for you, Lena.
Thank you, Beaky.
And this is yours, Johnny.
Thank you.
Now for a toast.
Beaky, what are you drinking? Brandy?
Oh, just this once, Obin.
You know it's not good for you.
Oh. All right, Obin.
Well, maybe just this once.
Oh, thanks, Obin.
Lena, I drink to the last bet that will ever be made by Johnny Aysgarth.
The last bet, Obin.
Johnny, Beaky's choking. Get some water, quick.
It won't help. I've seen this happen before. Brandy affects his heart.
Well, then why don't you let him drink it? Here, help me open his collar.
Why bother? It'll either kill him or it will go away by itself.
I'm sorry. I'm awfully sorry, Obin.
One of these days, it will kill him.
That was the first time that my intuition warned me of the cold-blooded savagery inherent in Johnny. It frightened me to watch his eyes as he stared at Beaky, painfully struggling in a heart attack Johnny could have prevented. After that day, our life together took a definite turn for the worse, and one shock followed upon another. I'd been up to the bookshop to get some murder mysteries, which were Johnny's only reading matter, when an old acquaintance stopped me.
Hello, Miss Aysgarth.
Oh, how are you, Mrs. Newsham?
Has Johnny settled down to the simple rural life?
Yes, it seems to agree with him.
Abandoned all his vices, has he?
Vices? What vices, Mrs. Newsham?
Oh, such as betting at the races, for instance. Oh, he's no time for that. He's much too busy with his job. Is he? He was at the Merchants' races yesterday. He was? Oh, how interesting. Good afternoon. I was heartsick at learning Johnny had broken his promise again. And then I went directly to Captain Melbeck's office where Johnny worked to ask Johnny for the truth.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Aysgarth.
Good afternoon. Is Mr. Aysgarth in?
Mr. Aysgarth? Why, no.
Well, when do you expect him?
Well, I really couldn't say. Perhaps you'd like to talk to Captain Melbeck.
Yes, I would. Very much, please.
Then please follow me. Mrs. Aysgarth to see you, Captain Melbeck.
Why, Mrs. Aysgarth. What a pleasure to see you.
Good afternoon.
Do sit down.
Thank you. Captain Melbeck, I don't want to impose upon you, but you're Johnny's cousin as well as his employer, and I wanted to talk to you about him. I'm terribly worried.
Well, yes, I can understand that. But I told him I wouldn't prosecute. Of course, if...
I don't understand.
And I told him I wouldn't prosecute.
What on earth are you talking about?
You mean you don't... Well, what reason did he give you when I discharged him?
When did you discharge him?
6 weeks ago. We had an unexpected audit, and the account showed a deficit of £2,000. When I looked into Johnny's records, I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Aysgarth. He should have told you.
You say you aren't going to prosecute?
Not for the time being. I'll give him every possible opportunity of replacing the money, but, well, after all, I can't wait indefinitely.
Does Johnny know that?
Yes. I told him that unless he made good, he'd have to go to jail.
And what did Johnny say?
Oh, something about collecting on some insurance or something. He swore he'd pay.
After learning that Johnny was an embezzler, a common thief as well as a gambler and a liar, I hurried home and prepared to leave for my mother's. But while I was writing my goodbye note to Johnny, he came into our bedroom with a telegram telling me of my father's sudden death. He was very tender and sympathetic, and with his arms around me, I forgot his faults. After Father's funeral, during our drive home, I gave Johnny every opportunity to tell me of his trouble with Captain Melbeck. But he evaded the issue. Instead, he talked in a grandiose manner of the scheme he had of developing a stretch of rocky beach into a resort. He thought the development would require £30,000. And when we returned to the house, he began working on the scheme with Beaky. Who's going to put the money up for this development, Johnny?
Why, I am, old girl, of course.
Oh, I see.
Well, the idea is mine, but the money is Beaky's. The company is going to be in my name, of course.
But, Johnny...
Look, darling, look. Let me show you how simple it is.
Yes, but does Beaky understand it?
Oh, perfectly, I think. You see, we buy up this land, and then we sell part of it. That gives us 100% profit in no time. Then on the other part, we build something or other.
Oh, Beaky, isn't it about time you grew up?
Look here. What right have you to interfere with my affairs?
Well, I wasn't really. I was only...
Beaky, you better go out and change for dinner.
Huh? Well, all right, O'Bean. Let me know if anything exciting happens.
Now, what were you saying?
Well, I was only trying to tell Beaky that he shouldn't leave everything to you.
Suppose Beaky had taken you seriously. You'd have ruined the whole scheme. Do you realize that?
Yes, but if it weren't any good...
If I say it's good, it's good. I'm going through with this deal, and I won't stand for any interference from you or anyone else. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear. Johnny, you're hurting my arm. I knew then that Beaky was doomed. With the company in Johnny's name, all he had to do was to get Beaky out of the way, and £30,000 would be his. And looking into Johnny's eyes, I could read Beaky's death notice.
So the curtain falls on the first act of Suspicion, adapted for radio by Bill Hampton from the RKO Motion Picture.
January 4th, 1943, the Screen Guild Players on Classic Radio Theater. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. A real quick word about Joan Fontaine, whose real name was Joan de Beauvoir de Havilland. Havilland, yes. She was the younger sister of Olivia de Havilland. They had a great rivalry going on at the height of Joan Fontaine's career. Fontaine appeared in more than 45 films in a career that spanned 5 decades, from 1935 until 1966. She released an autobiography in 1978, continued to act until 1994. The only actor to have won an Academy Award for acting in a Alfred Hitchcock film. She and her sister are the only siblings to have won lead acting Academy Awards. De Havilland, Joan Fontaine, who is Joan de Havilland, passed away at the age of 96 in 2013. And now, the conclusion, or more, of the Screen Guild Players' production of Suspicion, as it was broadcast January 4th, 1943.
Now the curtain rises on the second act of Suspicion, starring Joan Fontaine as Lena Aysgarth, Basil Rathbone as Johnny Aysgarth, and Nigel Bruce as Beaky Thwaite. Lena continues her story.
After I attempted to interfere with Johnny's scheme to involve Beaky in a real estate development, Beaky and Johnny wanted to go to Paris. Certain that Johnny would take this opportunity to kill Beaky for his money, I opposed them. And reluctantly, Johnny appeared to give in.
I'll tell you what I might do, Beaky. I might drive up with you as far as London.
That's a good idea, old Vin.
How about that, Lena?
Well, it seems to me
Yes,
that...
I know, darling. It seems to you that I should be looking for a job. Well, I'll have much more chance of getting a job in London than I would anywhere around here.
Yes, of course he would. I say, Lena, do let him come.
Well, I don't see very well how I can stop him.
Hooray!
But only to London, Johnny. Promise me you won't go to Paris.
I promise, and if things work out as I think they will, we'll be able to afford a little better living when I get back.
Things work out as I think they will. If things work out as I think they will. All that day and night those words kept pounding in my brain. If things work out as I think they will. Those words meant only one thing to me. Beaky was going to die. 2 days later, my suspicion was confirmed by the police.
Mrs. Aysgarth?
Yes?
I'm Inspector Hodgson from the county police.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. I understand your husband's not in, ma'am.
No, he's been up in London for 2 days.
Well, I believe you know a Mr. Thwaite.
Yes? He's a close friend of my husband.
Was a close friend, ma'am. Mr. Thwaite died under mysterious circumstances in Paris, and we're making inquiries on behalf of the Paris police. They found some papers on Mr. Thwaite's person which indicated he just formed a corporation with your husband.
Oh. What did the French police think caused Mr. Thwaite's death?
The telegram we received from Paris says Thwaite visited the place of his death in the company of another Englishman. Both men had evidently been drinking. On arrival, Thwaite ordered a bottle of brandy.
Brandy?
Yes, ma'am. Apparently, as a result of a bet between the two men, Thwaite filled a large beaker to the brim and drank all the brandy. The other man was not present when the actual death occurred, having left the place as soon as Thwaite drank the brandy.
I could easily imagine what had happened. I'd seen Beaky drink brandy before, as had Johnny. Johnny, Beaky's choking. Get some water.
I've seen this happen before. Brandy affects Beaky's heart. It'll either kill him or it'll go away by itself. One of these days it will kill him.
I remembered that. And it was all the proof I needed that Johnny had murdered his best friend Beaky by tempting him to drink brandy. It was very clever. There was only one slip-up. Johnny didn't get Beaky's money. The corporation papers weren't signed right or something. Johnny's desperate now, I know. Captain Melbeck has been phoning him all day, every day, insisting that Johnny replace the money he embezzled. Oh, that's why I'm so certain Johnny's going to kill me tonight.
The conclusion of the Screen Guild Players' production of Suspicion, starring Joan Fontaine, from January 4th, 1943, is next, when Classic Radio Theater continues.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a health care plan you don't like, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. They'll waive your new member fee if you join by January 15th. So that's $170 in addition to all the other savings. The typical family saves $500 or more per month. And MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. Again, join by January 15th and save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Mike Lindell, the inveterate CEO of MyPillow, wants to give back to listeners. You can get great discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Deep discounts on all MyPillow products, like the buy one, get one free special on Giza Dream Sheets. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty. Call 1-800-951-8175 or go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Use my promo code USA. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. And now the exciting conclusion to Suspicion, starring Joan Fontaine in her original 1941 Academy Award-winning role, as it was broadcast on the Screen Guild Players, January 4th, 1943.
I read a letter that came to Johnny from my insurance company. He was trying to raise a loan on my insurance, but the company wouldn't grant it. According to the terms of the policy, the letter read, payment can only be made in the event of your wife's death. At a dinner party tonight, given by Isabel Sedbersk, our local celebrity and a murder mystery writer, Johnny was very critical of the murders Isabel's fictional characters had committed. I'm sure I detected a smug self-satisfaction in his voice as he told Isabel,
I'm afraid you're slipping as a murder mystery writer, Isabel. That last one was, well...
Well? What?
Well, it's too complicated. If you're going to kill somebody, do it simply.
How would you do it?
Oh, I don't know, dear. Just use the most obvious method. The most important thing is that no one should suspect me.
For instance?
Well, for instance, poison.
Oh.
Just use the first one that comes to your mind. Say, arsenic.
Arsenic? Oh, that would never do, Johnny. The police exhumed a body in Gloucester 4 years after the victim's death, and there was still enough poison, even in the fingernails and hair.
Yeah, but did they get the murderer?
No, I don't believe they did.
There you are. This very minute, there are hundreds of people who have committed murder walking about freely, thousands of them.
Do you suppose those murderers are happy, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know, dear. Why shouldn't they be?
Fear of discovery, Johnny. So long as arsenic leaves traces.
Yes, but it seems to me that by now somebody should have discovered a poison that can't be traced. You must have heard of one, Isabel.
Why, I'm planning a very interesting corpse for my next book, Johnny.
Ha, ha, ha. Don't change the subject, please, Isabel. I saw that startled look in your eye when I mentioned an untraceable poison. Come on, what is it?
I wouldn't tell in a million years.
Well, I won't give you any rest until you do, so you may as well tell me now.
Can't be very long now until Johnny kills me. He learned the name of the untraceable poison from Isabel, and after bringing me home, we went for a walk in the village. When he returned, he came up to my room, but I was too nervous to talk to him. Now he's downstairs getting me a glass of warm milk, and I'm certain the milk will contain that poison. That's Johnny now. I wonder if it'll be very painful. I hope not. I don't want Johnny to know that I suspect anything. I can't stand this waiting. I can't stand this waiting.
Lena, darling. What in the world's wrong?
Oh, Johnny. Johnny.
Oh, my dear. How do you feel now, darling?
What happened?
When I brought you the warm milk last night, you screamed and fainted.
Have I been asleep all day?
Yes. The doctor gave you a pill this morning. Your nerves seem to be quite upset. I was worried about you.
Were you?
Oh, you're still annoyed with me, aren't you?
No, Johnny, I just don't feel well. I think I'll go to my mother's for a few days.
All right, darling. I'll run down and get the car ready.
Oh, no, don't. I'll drive myself.
Look here. What's come over you these past few days? You don't act as though I were your husband. Every time I touch you, you pull away.
Oh, now, Johnny, you're just imagining.
Well, I'm not going to stand for any more of it. Come here, darling.
Leave me alone, Johnny. Let me go. Let me go.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, you little fool. I've had enough. How much do you think a man can bear? Listen to me, Lena. You turn me out of your room, you go running away to your mother, and now you shrink away from me as though you hated me. You're my wife, Lena.
But I thought you wanted
Well, you won't have to put up with me anymore.
Johnny, where are you going?
First, I'm taking you to your mother's.
And then what?
Don't worry. I won't bother you again.
What do you mean, Johnny?
Well, why do you think I wanted to learn the name of that untraceable poison?
Johnny, you mean you're going... Is that why you were asking Isabel about that poison? You were going to kill yourself?
Yes.
Oh, my darling.
But then I saw that, well, that was the cheap way out. So I'm going to see it through. Prison term and everything.
Prison?
My dear, I can't pay back the money that I took from Melbeck. I made the last attempt to raise it when I went away with Beaky.
To Paris?
I didn't go to Paris, darling. I went to Liverpool. I tried to borrow money on your insurance there, but it didn't work.
You didn't go to Paris?
Of course not. Do you think I'd have let some idiot give poor Beaky that brandy if I had?
Oh, Johnny, I'd be ashamed to even know what I've been thinking. My imagination has been running away
Oh,
with
my
me.
darling, it's all my fault. And I've done enough wild things to make you suspect me of anything, given the right circumstances.
Oh, no, Johnny. This is as much my fault as yours. If I'd been really close to you, you could have confided in me. Oh, but it will be different now, Johnny. We'll make it different.
We'll have to wait until I get out of prison, Lena.
I'll wait, Johnny.
Maybe a long time, my darling. A long, long time.
I'll be waiting.
Thank you, Joan Fontaine, Basil Rathbone, and Nigel Bruce for your splendid performances. And thanks to David O. Selznick, through arrangement with whom Miss Fontaine appeared in our radio version of Suspicion.
It was a real pleasure, Mr. Bradley. And on behalf of myself and the rest of the cast, I want to express sincere thanks to Basil Rathbone for coming to our rescue when my husband was taken ill with a cold. And Brian wants me to thank you for him too, Basil.
Thank you, Joan. But it was nothing for anyone that, well, anyone else would have done just as much for this program, which benefits the Motion Picture Relief Fund. And while I have the microphone, I'd like to pass along an important word. When your grocer restricts the amount of canned goods and other scarce foods you can buy, please cooperate with him, for he's doing so at the request of the United States government until formal rationing can be instituted.
Thank you, Mr. Rathbone.
And now, here is Nigel Bruce.
Thank you. Thank you, Old Bean. Now, next week's show is really a corker. I know you're all going to enjoy it very much. I know that I will, too. Well, thank you very much. Goodbye.
One moment. Just a moment, Nigel.
Oh, yes, Old Bean?
You've forgotten one thing. Next week's show?
Oh, I'm sorry, Truman Old Bean. Now, next week's show, the Lady S Screen Guild Players will bring you Holiday Inn with Dinah Shaw and that dear old Bean, Bing Crosby.
Next week, then, our Lady Esther Screen Guild Players bring you Bing Crosby and Dinah Shore in Holiday Inn. Basil Rathbone can soon be seen in Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's production, Above Suspicion. Nigel Bruce appears through courtesy of Universal Studios and will soon be seen in the Universal picture, Sherlock Holmes in Washington. Music on tonight's show was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Screen Guild players are presented by Lady Esther. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther and saying thank you, good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
January 4th, 1943, the Screen Guild Players on Classic Radio Theater.
Our U.S. Constitution is amazing. It's full of what's called negative rights, designed to protect us from the corrupt powers of a dictatorship.
Like our right to worship our own God, not some official state religion.
Our right to prevent the government from seizing our property without paying fair market value for it.
Or our right to be tried by a jury of our peers, people like us, not by some star tribunal.
And that's why America has become the richest, most just society in the world.
Other countries force so-called positive rights onto their citizens. These enable one group to take from another group their free speech, money, and choice by using government force. Socialists love wielding this power over people.
Sometimes we take our freedoms for granted, but we can lose our Bill of Rights and our Constitution and become like Venezuela or North Korea, failed, brutal socialist regimes.
We need your help to spread the good news about our amazing U.S. Constitution. Help us take back America. Go to ouramericanrights.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Just time on Classic Radio Theater for an episode of Fibber McGee and Molly going back to January 4th, 1956.
See, October 398, November. Where's November?
McGee, what are you doing?
Just a minute, kiddo. Here's November. 347. That does it. Well, my dear, it looks like this time I got him. I finally got him.
Well, good for you. Who've you got?
I've got that 10-story burglar's roost at 14th and Oak over a barrel, that's who. That throat-cutting, customer-cheating, short-changing collection of con men that have been bleeding the trusting citizens of this community for years.
Oh, the power company.
Right.
I'd know them in a minute. Your descriptions are undoubtedly far-fetched and highly inaccurate, but I must admit they're colorful.
Look at this bill. Look at it. You better not touch it. It might be poisoned. But look at it. Electricity for the month of December, $7.85. $7.85.
Oh, that is high.
You said it. Just a little too high for them guys to get away with it this time. I've been through every one of our bills for the whole year, and not once has our light bill been over $4. So this time, $7.85.
There, well, they must have made a mistake, McGee. Surely we didn't choose that.
I'll say they made a mistake. They made a big mistake thinking they could swindle me. Hand me the phone, will you please?
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thank you. I got them right where their voltage is short this time. And hello, operator. Give me the power and light company at 14th. Oh, is that you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? It is, eh? What's say, Mert? Your aunt took the cop's gun away from him, eh?
What?
And threatened him, too, huh? Boy.
Heavenly days. Myrtle's aunt threatened to shoot a policeman?
No, she threatened to leave him. Caught him cleaning his gun with her best linen napkins, took the gun away from him, and said if he ever did it again, she was going home to her mother.
Oh, dear.
What say, Mert? Busy, huh? No, never mind trying again. I'll go down there.
And I'll go with you.
Fine. Be sure and wrap up good and warm, though. It's going to be cold and drafty in that power company office today, because I'm going to tear the roof clear off of that joint. Let's go.
Did you bring the bill? You got the bill?
Right here in my little hot hand, let's see. $7.85. Boy, am I going to read a riot act to these burglars.
Well, you're the lad that can do it.
Betcha.
Come on, there's the complaint window over there. Window 9.
Sir, when I get through with these guys, they'll back down like a paper hanger at lunchtime. They better not give me any lip, too, either, because...
Good morning, sir and madam. May I help you?
You may indeed, Buster. I got a bill in the mail today from this dad-ratted juice joint that is absolutely ridiculous. Just look at that bill.
Let me see. $7.85, huh? Oh, that is ridiculous.
Good.
How this company expects to make any money only charging people $7.85 a month, I don't know. Here, I'll just change this bill to $69.50 and show a little profit this month.
No. Give me that bill.
Here.
Well, you will not change it to no such a thing. $69.50 my clavicle.
Our bills, sir, have never been more than $4 a month.
Oh, aren't you the lucky ones? My bills run well over $300 a month with my payments on the car, the TV, the psychiatrist, my dancing lessons, the bookmaker.
I'm not interested in your bills, Buster. I came down here to get mine straightened out. Now, are you guys going to knock off this extortion racket of yours and cut this bill down to a decent size? Or am I going to have to tear this joint down brick by brick?
Oh, he is a determined individual, isn't he?
He means business, yes.
I think, sir, I'd better have you see our Mr. Croker, the head of our collection department.
Yeah, he's the boss, is he?
Yes, Mr. Croker, sir, is our head collector.
Good.
Oh, he has a collection of heads that is second to none. I'm sure he'd like to add yours to you. Well, if you'll just step into conference room A, right over here,
Come on, Molly, conference room A.
Well, now, wait, I don't know whether we
You'll find a large chair in there, sir, with a copper bottom and big leather straps on it. If you'll just sit down in it and fasten your seatbelt.
Seatbelt? What kind of chair are you talking?
Oh, no, Croker! Don't do it! I'll pay my bill! I'll pay! No!
Oh, dear, I'm sorry. Mr. Croker seems to be busy with a customer in there now. If you'll care to wait in the lobby here...
Come on, Molly, let's try somebody else. I'll take this bill all the way to the president of the company if I have to.
And we should have come to this window an hour ago, McGee. This girl seems a lot more polite than the others.
Yeah, well, I hope she finds out where their mistake is, because I'm sick and tired of being
Here
pushed...
she comes now. Good.
Well, Mr. McGee, I had the billing department check this bill for you.
Good.
Had accounting run another computation on it, and I'm pleased to tell you that we find the bill to be correct in every respect. Happy to have been of service to you, sir.
What?
Correct. What do you mean, service?
Jerry, I'm going to lunch now.
What do you mean, correct? We never use no $7.85 worth
I'm
of...
closing my window.
What?
Oh, dear.
How do you like that? Ain't this disgusting, Molly?
It's revolting. I know we didn't choose that much electricity last month. I don't know where the mistake is, but somebody...
My mistake is in wasting my time with the punks, the hired hands, the underlings. From now on, I deal with nobody less than the... What does that door say there?
Says Henry Watts, vice president.
Oh, don't go in there. Mr. Watts is busy on the phone.
Ah, go short your circuits. Come on, Molly. Come on in.
Yes, I know all that, and I'm sorry. But we'll have to turn your electricity off unless that bill is paid today.
Big help he's going to be.
I realize you've been sick and unable to work. Yes. Yes, I know you use electric heat, and the paper does say freezing tonight. But business is business. We'll have to turn off your current, Dad. Give my love to Mom. Bye.
Nice guy.
Now then, what can I do for you people?
I'll tell you what you can do right quick, Bud. You can take this extortion note your billing department sent us for $7.85, which we never used over $4 worth of your watered-down dry cell juice a month in our life, and you can tear it up because I ain't gonna pay it.
Oh?
We think there must be some mistake, sir.
Yeah, and so far, 3 of your pocket-picking, customer-chiseling employees have checked it over with their cheap electric adding machines, and in spite of me explaining to them that we just don't use that much electricity, they still insist it's right. So I'm not paying it.
Well, I can see that you're not a man to be trifled with, sir.
That's the first sensible crack I've heard all day.
Flattering, too.
So I'm not going to waste any more of your time.
Good.
If you'll just come down this corridor with me, please.
Told you we'd get some action, Molly. Where are you taking us, Bud? The billing department again?
No, this is a special department, sir. Right around the corner here.
It's nice to get a little courtesy for a change.
Yeah, I don't mind telling you, them hired hands of yours...
Right through this door here, please.
Yeah, them hired hands of yours are the impolitest, most discourteous...
McGee, we're out in the...
Hey, the alley! Hey, where'd you go? Hey, open that door! Why, you dirty double-crosser! Open up! Why, of all the dirty, rotten backstabbing... Come on, Molly. Let's go around in front again. I'm going right back in there.
Oh, dear.
That deceitful, backstabbing, two-faced rat. You should have seen him, Doc.
Well, now, take it easy. There's no use kidding yourself.
Smiling at us out of one side of his mouth while he shoves us out in the alley with the other.
All right, relax. Don't get so steamed up. It's a good thing I came along here. You're all
Well,
worked
it is
up.
disgusting, Doctor. The way they treated us in there was...
Shoving us around on account of their mistakes. I ought to poke some...
Look. If you just calm down a minute, maybe I can help. I've got a few friends in here. Let's see what we can find out.
If we can find out anything, it'll be a pleasure.
Over here, the president's office.
Yeah? Well, now we're getting someplace. I told you I had connections, kiddo. And if I'd have seen Doc 3 hours
Hello,
ago...
Grace. How's your mom making out?
Oh, hello, Doctor. Fine, thanks to you. What can I do for you?
Well, I got a couple of friends here with a problem, Grace. They have a bill here that seems to be in error.
Here it is right here, Grace.
Well, I'll be happy to check it out for you, sir. What seems to be wrong with it? Overcharged?
Everything's wrong with it, sis. First of all, the amount, of course.
$7.85. Mm-hmm.
Our bills are always around $4, miss.
Not only that, but look at the other side there. They got our name and address all loused up, too.
Oh?
I didn't know that, McGee. I didn't see the name.
Now, our name, you see, is Fibber McGee, 79 Wistful Vista. But they
Why,
got...
this bill says Oscar McGee, 618 Oak Street.
Yeah, see what I mean? The whole thing is loused up. Name, address, everything. It's a big mess.
Oh, fine.
McGee, hasn't it ever occurred to you that this bill we've been screaming about all day isn't our bill at all?
Not our bill. Well, it was in our mailbox. It's got to be our bill, Molly. Who else?
Skip it, Grace. Sorry.
Say, my wife just gave me an idea, Grace. You know what I bet happened? I bet this Oscar McGee on Oak Street has got our bill, and this here bill here is his bill. Sure.
Oh, for the... I'm sorry, miss.
That's what happened. Your company just mailed me the wrong bill. But don't you worry.
Come on, let's go home.
I'd have had a funny joke to tell right in here, Molly, if it hadn't been for that dad rat of power company.
The power company? How can you blame me?
Sure, we spent so much time fooling around down there that I haven't got time to say anything, but so long, everybody.
Oh, goodbye. See you tomorrow.
Henry Watts was played by Bill Thompson and Dr. Gamble by Arthur Q. Bryan. Cliff Arquette was featured as the clerk and Marion Richmond was the secretary. This is John Wall saying goodbye until tomorrow.
From January 4th, 1956, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater. Hope you'll take just a moment to thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we're around here on your favorite radio station. Of course, the advertisers pay the bills to keep this station on the air, and this station is kind enough to put us on the air. So, we appreciate them and hope you will as well. Hope you'll visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can also contact me there, and all of our social media information is there so you can stay in touch when we're not on the air. There you go. And always, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. Just search for us on your favorite podcast app. I'm Wyatt Cox, Classic Radio Theater. Please tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.